Hey friends, Wendy McClelland here. I wanted to talk today about Donald Trump's so-called Muslim ban. I've been watching events unfold since it was announced about a week ago now, and I had some questions, I had some comments, and a lot of people are discussing it online, and so I thought I would bring all of my comments, questions, concerns into one place in this video. So let's start off with the implications of this Muslim ban. First of all, Trump's advisor, Spicer, has said that 109 people were quote unquote inconvenienced. Well, we're now finding out at least 100,000 people have been turned away from the United States. That's slightly more than 109, Mr. Spicer. People who've been turned back include a Harvard professor, dual citizens from Canada who may have originally come from Somalia or Yemen or one of the other countries where the ban is in place. They also include the Norwegian Prime Minister, who was actually coming to Washington to attend Trump's prayer breakfast, even though there he mocked prayer when he asked for prayers for Arnold Schwarzenegger to get better ratings on The Apprentice. Yes, the Norwegian Prime Minister was planning to attend. He was stopped at Dulles Airport because he'd had a trip to Iran in the past. That stamp showed up in his passport, and so he was questioned for 1 hour. This is a white man from a non-Muslim country who happened to have a stamp from one of these countries in his passport. So Mr. Trump's ban is causing problems for people of all races, all religions, all cultures, and he won't admit it. We have also had a number of scientists and doctors who've been unable to return home. There is a doctor from Scotland who carries a dual passport from one of the banned nations, and she was traveling. She'd been on a vacation. Her trip connected in the United States because she was from her passport. She had a dual passport, dual citizenship from one of these nations. She couldn't get on her flight. She was turned back at the airport and had to find another way to get home. This was a Scottish veterinarian. So these aren't just little things that are happening. Children needing medical care and coming to the United States for life-saving care are being turned back at airports. There was a 5-year-old child who was handcuffed at the Dallas airport because the parents and the child were refugees coming in from one of the 7 countries. And Spicer said, well, you never know, could have had a bomb on them. Well, Mr. Spicer, I'd like to inform you that other nations do security checks before they allow people on planes. And to say that a 5-year-old deserves to be handcuffed, I don't know what morality you're living under, but it's not the same as mine. This family was eventually turned back, so they may have waited 2, 3, 4, 5 years, filled out the paperwork, gone through the vetting, lived in a refugee camp, to come to America, to build a new life, to hopefully contribute to the society, maybe become teachers. Maybe they already were teachers. There's a lot of people fleeing the Syrian war that aren't just people that you would consider day laborers or hourly workers. These are people with professions, with degrees, many having been educated in the West, including the United States. Here in Canada, what we observed was people at our airports who were told, no, you can't get on that flight to the United States now. So what does that do for us here in Canada? Well, we're kind of compassionate here. So a number of our airlines, including WestJet, offered to refund the cost of their flights, help them find accommodation, and connect them with refugee or immigrant services that could help them. And other organizations here also reached out to help people. But we're also now seeing a surge of people who are living in the United States hoping to claim refugee status coming across the border. So Mr. Trump's little game of let's ban these countries is not turning out very well, because what happened at the airports in Canada happened in airports around the globe. And now you have people stranded in countries where they have no ties, where they have no support, all because they're Muslims from one of these countries. You think there's a better way to create terrorists? I can't think of one. And I have one question for Mr. Trump and the GOP. Why the hell isn't Saudi Arabia on that list? Over 3,000 American citizens were killed on 9/11, and the men that flew those planes were from Saudi Arabia, and they were financed by Saudi Arabia. Why weren't they? Because Mr. Trump already has businesses in Saudi Arabia. And during his campaign, he registered 8 more businesses in Saudi Arabia. So of course, where the money goes, Trump goes, and he's certainly not going to turn off that money tap. So those are my thoughts on this so-called Muslim ban. It's not going to stop terrorism. One final thought. White nationalist, US-born terrorists have killed more Americans in the last 15 years than any refugees. Let that sink in. We know about the young man, I'm not even going to name him, who went into a church and mowed down worshipers there. And we know about other terrorist attacks that have happened at the Murrah building. There are endless amount of American terrorists right on your soil. So do something about that. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video and you want to hear more, I'd love it if you would support me on Patreon. And that gives me the time to do the research and to create the videos and to create more great content for you. There's also a poll there that you can take that will let me know what kind of video content you'd like to have in future. So thanks for watching. Until next time, have a grateful day.